daily connection is so important, and yet so hard, I think, sometimes, especially in certain seasons. When I think back to having little ones, it's kind of silly to think that you can live together or maybe even work together, but not take the time to personally connect. But I think that's reality. And so we just want to talk a little bit about the importance of daily connection. But I also don't want you to discourage or beat yourself up if this is a season where that's challenging. I want you to give yourself some grace, but also find times where you can connect with one another. General rules for this daily connection, they're all T's, so 3 T's. So the first one is touch. You're gonna find some time, even just 15 minutes. You're touching, you're talking, and you're turning off all technology. We're fully present with one another. Now, Wes, what would you say is helpful for us in having those moments or moment throughout the day?
Like habit stacking. So like what's something you do every day that you can incorporate some of those T's into your day. So for us, like when we drop off our daughter at school, we immediately hit the gym for a short period of time, and then we go for a walk afterwards. And both of those activities are, somewhere between 15 to 25 minutes each. Being realistic with your schedule.
I love the idea of doing it in the morning if you can, just because I feel like we tend to be our best in the morning before the day and the stressors kind of take over. If you own and operate your own business, you have some flexibility in this. I mean, I remember for the longest time, even though technically we had a lot of ownership and flexibility, we didn't do a very good job at having our calendar mirror that time and flexibility. So we got much better at not putting, for example, any meetings on our calendar before 9:30 in the morning. Like, we had control over that. If you're an entrepreneur and you have some control over your schedule, that's a great way to do that. And even if you're not, like, you may have some flexibility in the hours that you work. Make sure you protect that time.
We're going to dive into what is a power hour, what makes it powerful, does it always need to be an hour, all those kind of things. So open it up.
Yeah, so power hours are our weekly tactical meetings. So part of the challenge with daily connecting is a lot of it can be tactical. What's for dinner? Who's picking up the kids? What events do we have going on? And if you don't have this weekly power hour, that's what a lot of your daily connecting looks like. So our weekly power hour is a time for us to come together as a couple, and this can be during your date night, this can be on the weekends, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be a full hour, but this is a time for you to tactically plan out your week so that you have control over your calendar and not so much that time has control over you. What do we have going on this week? Where do you need to pick up the kids versus I need to pick up the kids?
Are there any events going on this week? Work events, church events, school events that we need to be aware of and be on the same page about?
If we can have that conversation on a weekly basis and spend some of that time planning ahead of time, then our daily communication can be more focused around connecting.
Yeah.
You're always going to have pieces of that tactical side when life is busy and plans change, but this will really help shift your conversation and get ahead of it so you don't always feel so reactive. I think that's the challenge a lot of couples have, right? Is I said this, don't you remember? I told you about XYZ plans. And a lot of times that's because the conversation is happening daily on like a whim, right? And so when you have that set meeting and you're having that conversation and you're both engaged in that conversation, you have less of that misunderstanding or not hearing that so often happens. So we have a template. If you comment below power hour, we will get that over to you, and that will kind of walk through exactly what it looks like for us. But the great thing is you can change it for you, right? There might be some things on there that you don't feel apply or you don't like, and that's the beauty of it. You can start here and make it your own.
Talking about the monthly meeting rhythm, and this is more of a tactical check-in on your quarterly. So for us, this is normally and maybe even as short as 10 minutes, maybe sometimes more like 30, a little more. Are we making progress on our quarterly, on our yearly goals, and making sure do we need to make any adjustments, and are we happy with the progress we're making?
Typically, finances is one that will come up in this one a lot, kind of how are we doing on our savings goal, right? That would be something we would look at on a monthly basis to make sure that quarterly and annually we're on target. So this can be part of your weekly power hour, but just once a month, be sure to kind of do a bigger monthly check-in.
So what's something for you on a monthly basis that would help you stay on track? All right, so the quarterly strategy meeting. We actually just finished this one up. We have a document that we call the one sheet that has some measurables on it that we set out in the beginning of the year, and we reset, okay, 5 years from now, how do we want our life to look? What are some specific goals that we can say we either succeeded at or failed at? And then we set out for the year too, same idea. What's 3 to 5 things that we really want to accomplish by the end of the year? And we do have different categories, whether it's family, adventure, travel, financial goals that we're setting out to do. So it's pretty awesome when you write it down, and then when you revisit it, sometimes you don't feel like you're making progress, and then when you have a process for actually checking in on it, you're like, wow, we made more progress than we realized. So I love that part of it.
Or sometimes you realize, oh shoot, I haven't done anything to reach towards that goal yet, and it's a good reminder. We like to get away for the quarterly retreat, and so I recommend doing either a new location or incorporating a new experience into it. And so that just helps you connect, have fun together. A pro tip here is that when you're at your quarterly retreat, before you finish up, the next thing you want to do is plan your next one.
Put some dates down,
Yes.
Get some ideas, because once you leave here, life happens again.
Exactly.
Just-
If you're interested in doing your own quarterly retreat, comment below one sheet and we'll send you over the sheet that we use to get you started.
All right, so as the sun is setting here, great time to talk about the annual reflection meeting. And this is just another quarterly, but the main difference is that you are adding on what are the new goals that you have for this year, or reviewing and updating your 5-year goals. So looking at what are you going to be talking about at those next quarterly sessions to measure yourself and see what progress you're making.
Yeah, just a great time to pray about the year to come, to reflect on the year that you just had, to reset those goals, to just reconnect and really get focused for the year ahead. And so this is great to do towards the end. So whatever quarterly retreat ends up being right towards the end or the beginning of the year, that's
Right.
a great one. It does not need to be a separate meeting. Just be intentional with spending that quarterly meeting discussing the annual goals. And so we're just praying for an amazing year for you and your significant other.